The Alien Reindeer's Wild Ride, A Winter Star, Book 5. Written by Kate Rudolph, Starr Huntress. Narrated by Scott R. Smith. Chapter 1. Rowan Lambert rushed from her final meeting of the day and dodged around a droid cart, trying to make it to the ticketing station as quickly as she could. She was supposed to be getting on a shuttle and heading back to Earth, but a last-minute appointment had sent her scrambling to reschedule. And an oversight, on the part of the shuttle company, definitely not her fault, meant she didn't have a ticket to replace the one she'd given up. Normally it wouldn't be a problem. There were dozens of shuttles that flew passengers between Earth and Mars every week. But this was no normal week. 7 days until the big holiday, and every seat was taken on every major and minor vessel leaving the planet. But that didn't stop Ro from running. She'd heard a rumor from a trustworthy source that a batch of tickets was about to open up. 30 lucky people would get seats, but they were bound to sell out in minutes. And the only way to get one of the seats was to show up in person and purchase it at the ticket counter. Barbaric, but it was the only flight home, and she needed to be on it. Was it still home if she hadn't set foot in the place in more than 3 years? 4? Damn, how long had she been away? Ro wasn't going to think about that now. Her sister would give her enough grief when she learned about the ticket mix-up. No need to borrow trouble by thinking about her own failings. She was going to make it home this time. She didn't let herself think about how she'd been sure of that last year, too. It wasn't her fault that her company's biggest client had shown up unrequested to speak to her about a large sale. Was she just supposed to let millions of credits slip through her fingers? The year before, a giant storm had stopped all traffic between the planets, and before that, Ro had figured missing one holiday wouldn't matter too much. She wasn't going to miss the 4th in a row. She hadn't seen her nephew since he was barely more than 6, and now that he was edging on 10, she didn't even know if he'd remember her. No, she was going to make it. But the line at the ticket counter was disheartening. There were at least 50 people, humans and all kinds of aliens, crowded in front of the one open window and clearly ready to pay an exorbitant amount if it meant getting off Mars in time. If there were only 30 tickets, there was no way she'd get one, not with this many people around, and it would take a miracle to get them to leave. A miracle or a bit of creativity. She felt a twinge of guilt as she pulled out her communicator, but she didn't let it stop her from putting it up to her ear and speaking in an exact...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?